I decided to go see the new movie Civil War. Yeah. Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms, your NRA certification of multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. And you like channel, like content, and what I do here, you can support me with the link. Everything is appreciated. And to my Connecticut residents, plan on getting your Connecticut pistol permit. Please get that training done. I'll take it a step further and turn your paperwork in before July 1st, because then after that it gets longer, harder. It's going to cost you a little bit more money. If you already have your permit, watch the expiration date. Don't let it expire. There's a link to the online renewal portal for the Connecticut state pistol permits in the description box. Keep an eye on that. And let's talk about this. Now, when I did my first video on this movie, talking about how it was predictive programming, if you remember that, I said I wanted to see this. I was intrigued enough to go see it, and I went and saw it. Yeah. It didn't make no sense. It didn't make no sense. You had the Western forces and the Florida Alliance fighting against the government forces, and we don't know why they're fighting each other. We don't know what kicked it off. We have no idea. It centers around these three reporters, we're technically four, but running around trying to get to Washington, D.C. to interview the president while this war is going on. And they run into different people. I don't want to put too many spoilers out there if you haven't seen it. Usually when you go see a movie, you'll watch it again. You'll wait for it to come on cable or whatever, Blu-ray. I'm not going to watch this movie again. To me, it was just stupid. And it didn't make any sense. It made no sense. There were things going on in there in the movie that I just could not comprehend or wrap my head around, and it kind of just made me laugh. But if you want to go see it, I tell you to go see it. But I wasted my money. But what I want to talk about is one of the lead roles, or the stars of the movie, Kirsten Dunst, has come out with some statements that clearly shows that she did this movie in an effort to restart the conversation on gun control. I'm going to bring you in here. Gun control in the U.S. is insane. Kirsten Dunst wants new film Civil War to start conversations about what? How bad a movie can be made? But could the United States and other major democracies collapse and descend into civil war? This is the dystopian scenario imagined in this action thriller Civil War, which follows a group of journalists on a road trip through a war-torn America where citizens are pitted against one another in a bloody armed conflict, but we have no idea why. Okay, I'm going to come down to here. Kirsten Dunst plays veteran war photographer Lee, who is accompanied by her colleague Joel and rookie reporter Jesse, as she heads to Washington, D.C. to interview the embattled president. The audience never learns exactly what has caused this civil conflict, but the film will speak to the political anxieties of married Americans, says Dunst, who was an Oscar nominated for the psychological drama, The Power of the Dog, whatever. Quote, for me personally, I'm most concerned lately about women's rights and also about gun control in the U.S., says the 41-year-old American actress who also appeared in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy 2002-2007. The proliferation of guns in the U.S. makes her fear for her family's safety. She has two sons, aged 5 and 2, with husband Jesse. I don't care about that. But the proliferation of guns, what you should worry about is criminals and guns. But instead, it's just, because these guns are available, I'm in fear for my life. That doesn't quite work. But having children and being worried about being in a park, having those thoughts is just a part of being a mother or a father in America, she says. Yeah, especially if they get run over at a Christmas parade or somebody comes into their college dorm and stabs them to death. Can you see the disconnect with this person? Okay, it's about guns. No, it's about violent people and crime. Guns are ubiquitous in the film's story, and for Dunst, the danger they pose to Americans is all too real. Quote, when the 2012 Sandy Hook school shooting happened, I was in high school, but I knew then if killing a bunch of kindergartners didn't change gun laws, nothing would. Well, I think the killing of Marion Sanchez should have changed laws, period. But nobody cared about that because, well, it wasn't an AR-15. I think people getting run over at a Christmas parade should change some laws, but nobody cared about that. I can go on and on of people who have lost their lives to implements other than firearms who have been summarily dismissed. And it's the fact that these people are has this tunnel vision when it comes to violence, and they just, all they can see is violence and guns, violence and guns, violence and guns, when things are happening all around them that they summarily ignore. That is a disservice to the victims of those other crimes, and also a disservice to the fact that you're not solving the problem. And the problem is not gun ownership. The gun control in the U.S. is insane, she says. But one does not have to be an American to relate to the broader political issues explored by civil war, which shows what can happen when systems of democracy and government break down. That's exactly why the Second Amendment was written. Like it or not, that's what it's there for. When the government becomes tyrannical, when the government starts doing things that are an affront to the Constitution, if you cannot fight against them, you are going to be a victim of it. But Moura, the 47-year-old Brazilian actor who played drug lord Pablo Escobar in the first two seasons of crime drama Narcos, whatever, says, I'm concerned about the state of democracy in the world, not only in the U.S., but everywhere. I think the polarization in the world is posing a threat to democracies in general. Yes, when you have, and I'm gonna call it out, when you have extreme leftists and their policies, yes, that is a threat to democracies. You know, you hear the Democrats say it all the time. Donald Trump's a threat to democracy. These are the same people in 3 states, Tennessee, North Carolina, and I'm trying to remember the third one, but 3 states. They fixed, Florida was the third. They fixed the primaries to ensure that Joe Biden wins. How is that democratic? These are the same people who cry about a threat to democracy, and that they do the most undemocratic things nonstop. But I'm coming down here. For instance, a scene where an unnamed soldier played by Plamos points a gun at the reporter and says, what kind of American are you? Hints at racism and xenophobia, suggesting it may have played a part in this war. Once again, I'm not going to talk about the scene because I don't want to spoil it for those of you. But when you see it, you're going to see what I'm saying. When it was silly. It was a very emotional and hard scene for me to play as a guy from Brazil who lives in the country and speaks with an accent, says Moura. Well, here's the thing, Moura. Are there racists in America? Yes. But in the situation where there's a war, there's going to be a defined line of who's on what side and what they stand for. You stand for a certain thing, you're going to be on one side or the other. Okay? Now, you're going to catch pockets of these racist idiots running around? Sure. But in the overall scope of a war of that scale, there's going to be defined lines. Who's on this side and who's on that side. But despite his bleak vision of the future, Dunst was compelled to be part of telling this story. Quote, my heart was racing when I read the script because I felt like I've never read anything like this before. Says the former child star. Yes, we know she played in Interview with the Vampire. I remember telling my friends I really want to play this role. I've never done anything like this. And Dunst thinks Civil War is ultimately full of hope because it is trying to start a conversation. Quote, I think we made a film that will really affect people and its artists. That's the greatest goal, she says. And to be a part of something like this makes us all really proud. Okay, let me come out of that. Okay. This movie will not start a conversation on gun control because all it will do is reinforce the fact that people make bad movies. Just kidding. But I'm going to put it to you like this. If, and this is my theory and only my opinion, and it's based on what I see, what I can physically see happening. If there is a civil war, the left will start it. Plain and simple. Like I said, in this movie, they made no clear defining boundaries on why it started, what each side is fighting for, nothing. We have no idea what's going on as far as that's concerned, which I think is incredibly important. And maybe they left it out specifically because of that, because then people will pick sides as to who wins, who loses in the movie. But as I said, I wouldn't recommend it. Wait until it comes out on cable, and then you can sit back and watch it. I wouldn't spend my money again to go watch it, because it made no sense in this grand scheme of the trailer and the title of the movie. But that's just my opinion on it. And as like I said, as far as predictive programming, as I said before, if we have a civil war, the left's going to start it. Plain and simple. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I'm going to see you on the next one. Peace.